All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Larry Beecham jumping onto this Sunday's call. I want to thank you so much for deciding to join me this evening. I'm going to be talking about 5 steps to building a buyer audience as opposed to just an email list. Very, very important training. As a matter of fact, this is one of the things that when I really figured it out, revolutionized all the things that I do on the internet. So I'm hopeful tonight that the information I'm going to provide you will help you actually develop a much stronger business and help you make some more money. Uh, Truth be told, a lot of the information that's out here in the marketplace right now about list building in particular, uh, what I would say is sort of a half truth. And so my goal tonight is to make sure that you guys are positioned to get the right information. So I'm just doing some last minute stuff here. As you probably know, those of you that follow me, I have a large family. And, whenever I post up at home to try to do trainings on evenings, it's always challenging. You never know if the 2-year-old is going to run in here screaming and hollering. You never know if one of the other two will get into a fight. A lot of that's buffered when my wife's around, but tonight she had a little bit of time off. So we're going to work through this thing. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear me okay. Now, what I'd like to do for a little bit of interaction so that you guys are able to connect with me, ask me questions, and also just let me know that you're here. If you could go to my fan page and just type in, your name and location and that you're listening. My fan page is Larry the Champion Builder. So just go to Facebook and then type in up here fan page to see who's out there tonight and who also wants to ask me questions and interact. So I'm going to be pump the fan page here real quick. All right, got myself all queued up here. So I would like to know if you're checking me out right now, go ahead and type into my fan page, your name and your location, and we'll get started. Second option tonight to connect with me is through text. Now you can send me a text message to 813-562-6602. Again, that's 813-562-6602. Text me your name and location, and that'll let me know that you're out there. And also that gives me a quick reference to connect with you. All right. So Larry, the Champion Builder, Larry the Champion Builder on Facebook, and also texting me to 813-562-6602. All right. Good sound check would also be helpful if you guys can hear me, and let me know that you guys can hear me. Okay. So we got Jerome Sparks from South Carolina. What's up, Jerome? Glad to have you on the call, my friend. Appreciate you. All right. Who else we got out there tonight? I know we got several other people out there floating around out there. Jerome, what type of business are you in, my friend? Are you in some sort of a direct sales business, network marketing, internet marketing, offline, traditional brick and mortar? Let me know what kind of business you're in tonight so I can understand the value that you're looking for tonight. And also, if you got a specific question or something you'd like to gain from tonight's call, I'd like to know what that is, as well as anybody else that might be listening. I know Athena Barcelo's probably out there. We got Shanoa, Stanley, Charles, Andrea. So, let's see here. Of course, Athena, my buddy Art from Orlando's out there. Appreciate you, Athena. One of my most avid supporters who's always been in my corner since 2009 when I launched off into the internet marketing world. So I appreciate you. All right, good stuff. So while we're waiting on others to connect with us and let me know where everybody is from, I just want to kind of give you a little bit of some housekeeping things that you can connect to. I've already directed you to my fan page, Larry the Champion Builder. Make sure you stay connected to me there. I'm always posting motivational quotes as well as doing content to help you develop a strong and profitable business. Jerome says he's in network marketing. He's a friend of Marquell. All right, Marquell, my man. I just actually got off the phone with Marquell a little bit ago, and he and I are planning on doing some things together. So I'm glad that Marquell was able to point you here. I'm grateful for that. So a couple things of housekeeping. First of all, Larry the Champion Builder, that's my fan page. What's up, Mary Newman? Another one of my avid followers. Mary loves all of the stuff that I seem to do, and I appreciate you, Miss Mary. So thank you for jumping on tonight as well. So my fan page is one place you can connect with me. Another place you can connect with me really on a regular basis, which I'm falling in love with, is Periscope. Periscope is an app that you can download onto your actual Android or iPhone. If you don't know what Periscope is, go download it today. It actually connects to Twitter, and whenever somebody does a Periscope broadcast, it's done from their device. So let's say I decided I want to do a Periscope right now. I would turn it on, give it a title, hit start broadcast, and just like I'm broadcasting right now, The difference is with Periscope, you don't have to do any prep. You don't have to sign up on anything. You can just hit the button and boom, you'd see me right on your phone live and in color, and then you'll be able to chat and text with me and do different things to engage. So definitely follow me on Periscope. I do something almost every single day on Periscope to add value to your life or to your business. So make sure you download Periscope today and follow me on Periscope. Also, for those of you that are involved in the network marketing space, like my man Jerome, I wrote a book recently called Build a Team, Not a Downline. As a matter of fact, there's usually a copy close to me, but I didn't grab one. My area has been cleaned up. So anyway, if you go to Amazon.com, you can get it, or you can just simply go to my website, buildateamnotadownline.com, and download 4 free chapters right now of the book. This will give you an opportunity to learn more about the book and what the book can offer you. I know Mary has a copy of the book and has been reading it, sending me emails every day about what she's gotten out of it. So just released the book. Matter of fact, I released it right before I had to go to Ohio for about a month. I had to take some time off for personal reasons, but I'm back. And this is really the launch of me getting back into the game for you guys. So I'm really excited about that. I also have a group coaching program, which I'll talk about towards the end. But for those of you that are involved in any type of home-based business, direct sales, network marketing, or if you have a traditional offline business, my group coaching program probably could help you develop a greater skill set. The brand that I have is called the Champion Builder, and my goal is to help you build yourself up to a championship level in your faith, your family, your finances, your personal relationships, and of course, your business. And so that's what we're here to talk about tonight. All right, who else is out there tonight? I'm taking a roll call of anybody else that wants to acknowledge that they're here. You can do that on my fan page, Larry the Champion Builder, or you can send me a text message to 813-562-6602, and that'll let me know that you're here and engage with me. So let's go ahead and jump into this content. I really only plan to be about 20 minutes. I don't want to go all night, and I don't want to fluff you guys with a bunch of extra talk. So I want to get right into some basic content to kind of help you understand the nature of tonight's training. So first and foremost, one of the things that I always tell people that want to learn how to build a list online, that want to make money, is that it is not true that the money is in the list. That is not true. I need to explain that, but I need you to know that in and of itself, as has been said, is not true. It's not possible to just make money by having a list. And let me give you an example. About 2 years ago, I got involved in a network marketing company, of which I became a top producer in. And one of my good buddies had a giant list that he had built from doing ads on Craigslist for I think it was a CPA program. One of those programs where if you gave your email or gave your name and phone number or hit send, the person that set that ad up would get a little money, or you would fill out an offer of some sort. Anyway, he would run ads on Craigslist very successfully, made a lot of money doing this. But in order to run the ad successfully, he would put up a lead capture page and take someone's email address, and then from there they would be led to the opportunity. Well, over about a year's time, he built up about a 20,000 person list. And when I got involved in this network marketing company, I reached out to him and said, hey man, I got this great opportunity, want to see if you're interested in joining. He's like, I got this big list that I built up. Why don't we just send out some promotional messages to this list, man? I'm sure a few thousand people will show up. It's got like 20,000 people on it. I said, you know what, even if only a couple hundred people showed up from a list that big, it would be worth it, because we typically close pretty strong when we have a good audience. Now, the night of the actual presentation we were going to do, our expectation was a couple hundred people from a 20,000 plus list that he had built through Craigslist ads. Well, let me just tell you that I think the grand total number of people was somewhere between 50 and 60 people. Out of 20,000 people, somewhere between 50 and 60 people showed up. But it gets worse, not better. About 5 to 10 minutes into our presentation, we lost half the audience. So we were down to around 20 to 30 people who were actually listening to us, or maybe they were just there. I don't know about listening, but we could see on the webinar how many people we have physically there. By the end of the webinar, we basically didn't have anybody. Okay, somebody just sent me a text message. Who else we got out there tonight? Okay, let's see here. Pull this thing up and I'll get back to. I want to acknowledge everybody that wants to acknowledge that they're here. If you're just jumping onto the training tonight, you can send me a text message to 813-562-6602 and let me know that you're here. or you can get on my fan page, Larry the Champion Builder, and let me know. My man Andre Simmons from Chicago was out there. Excellent. Glad to see you out there, Andre. Okay, so we had about 30 people come to this stay during the very beginning of this training. And then by the time we got done, nobody actually was interested. Nobody signed up. Nobody requested additional information. It was the most gut-wrenching, depressing, head-scratching, confusing situation I had ever been in, because at that time I was a top producer online and in network marketing. So it really shocked and bewildered me that that would even happen to me. All right, so who else we got? I think we got somebody else that just jumped on. Oh, people just typing stuff. All right, so it shocked and kind of bewildered me that nobody took an interest from 20,000 people. And it was at that moment that I discovered the true lie, true lie, that's funny, the lie or the half-truth that the money is in the list. So if that story doesn't help you understand that you have to do more than accumulate a bunch of names on a list somewhere, I don't know what else to tell you. But that is the case. Now, let me tell you why it happened that way, okay? Let me tell you why it happened that way. What's up, Derry? We got my man Derry's on the line. Thank you, Derry, for texting and let me know you're there. Let me explain first and foremost why that happened. Okay, Carl Robinson, what's up? Carl from Connecticut is out there. If you're just jumping on, let me know you're out there by texting me 813-562-6602, or go to my fan page and Larry the Champion Builder, hit the like button, and you can chat with me there as well. So here's why that email list situation was a bomb. And this is the mistake I don't want you to make. This is where you want to start taking notes. Number one reason why that didn't work is because he had no relationship. So think about it. He would run ads on Craigslist where people would see the ad, click on it, see a page, put their email in, hit enter. Next thing they would be presented with was whatever he had to offer, but that's the only touch. I don't even know why he accumulated the list, because really, if he wasn't going to touch the list, talk to the list, educate the list, communicate with the list, then there's really no need to build it. But I think he was caught up in what we've all been taught. There's all this money in this big old list. Well, he mastered the first level, but he didn't understand the levels beyond that. So number one, if you're going to build a list of people, you're going to have to build a relationship with those people. It's not enough for you to just simply accumulate a list. Here's the thing I want you to understand about building a list. Building a list is as easy as finding a broker who can actually send traffic to your website. I mean, literally, there's people on Facebook who sell ads. Okay, Shanoa is on tonight. Glad to have Shanoa out there. You can go to, for example, there's a young lady by the name of Nikki Dreams who I use on Facebook. She has a solo ad company. She's amazing. I mean, all of her solo ads are work. I mean, the people on those lists that she has are responsive to opportunity. So I could throw her $100. She'd send 1,000 people or whatever it is to my particular webpage, and she guarantees a certain percentage of those people will opt in and engage my content. So for you to build a list is literally as easy as going down to the local grocery store and buying a loaf of bread. How many stores sell bread? All of them sell bread. It's just a matter of which store you want to go to based upon maybe price or convenience. But at the end of the day, getting bread is easy. So getting leads and getting a list built up is easy. You don't have to buy a list. You can basically invest in things like solo ads, media buys, traffic exchanges, Facebook ads, social media ads. You can put yard signs out, pass out business cards, flyers. Almost anything that's available for you to get people in front of something can generate a lead that gets on a list somewhere. Okay, so I want you to just understand that if you're struggling with list building or getting leads, you just simply don't get the fact that you can just go buy the traffic. Yes, you can do YouTube videos that are free and accumulate leads. That's another way to do it. Yes, you can do blogging. Those strategies that don't cost money work, but they just take a little longer. All I'm saying is to get leads or to get a list built is the absolute easiest thing you could be doing in the whole process. You can go to Safe Swaps, which is a website that allows you to, if you have your own list, you can swap with somebody else's list. In other words, y'all send messages to each other's lists, and that way you can kind of fish in each other's pond and get fish into your pond in a sense. I could go all night with a list of places. That's not really the nature of tonight's training, but I do need to drill home the fact that there's 4 levels to you being able to make money. But level 1 is list building. By the way, I gave away a bonus training called the 4 levels of buying audience mastery. That was a bonus that you should have gotten in your email. And I know I'm hitting it a little bit as a foundation in case you haven't seen that video, but I need you to grasp the fact that list building is easy. Write that down. Type that on my, if you're on my fan page, type in a hashtag list building is easy. Let me know you're recognizing where I'm coming from. Type that into my fan page. List building is easy. And so if you have a need to learn how to list build, maybe you don't feel that list building is something that you understand. Maybe you don't feel comfortable buying leads or traffic, or maybe you've heard that it's hard or that it won't work, or maybe you tried it on your own and failed miserably. But if you want me to take you by the hand and help you with that part, great. I'll be happy to do that. Text me right now your name to 813-562-6602 and just simply say, I'd like help with list building. So your name and then the message, I would like help with list building. Text that to 813-562-6602 and we'll talk about that. I'll reach out to you after the training is over with and we'll see about setting you up an appointment to do that. Okay. Now, let's see here. All right. Thank you, Jerome. I see my man Jerome is interacting. He typed in list building is easy. My man, good stuff. All right. So that's the first thing. That's level 1 is list building. All right. Let me take you down through all 4 levels first, and then we're going to get into the 5 steps to actually creating a buyer list, just in case you missed the video. So you built your list. Let's say you got you went out and found a solo ad, and you got 500 people on the list from a solo ad. 50 people on the list from a solo ad. The number's insignificant. But let's just say for the sake of argument and training, it's 100 people on the list. As you already know, that's not enough. You need to now drop, that's level 1. You need to drop down to level 2. Level 2 is audience development. Audience development. Write that down. Level 2 is audience development. Level 1, list building. Easy. Easy, 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 easy. Easiest thing you'll do. Level 2, audience development. Now, what does that mean? When I talked about my friend who did not have, somebody's typing here. Okay, Carl typed in, list building is easy. Excellent. So when my guy got that list built up and he was not able to get any responses because he did no audience development. Okay, no audience development. So let's talk about what it means to develop an audience. So I have a list right now of about 4,000 people on it that I've accumulated, some list I've built out. That's the list. For me to get an audience, what that means is of the 4,000 people or of your 100 in our example, when you go to create a message, you'll send out an email with a subject line, 5 steps to building a buyer audience. Well, if that audience is interested in that type of content, or that list, I should say, there's a percentage of those people that will stand up and say, yes, I'm interested in that, and come to your training. That is the beginning of developing an audience. When you actually send an email to that list, give them a tip, advice, training, solving problems, relieving pain, answering questions, inviting them to conference calls, hangouts, periscopes, and they show up, that is your audience. Okay? That's your audience. All right. So it is the audience that gives you the opportunity to start the process of making money. It is not the list. So you have 100 people on your list and you say to yourself, I'm involved in network marketing and my product has the ability to help people burn fat. And you decide that you want to actually do a training that maybe you found an expert. All right. You found an expert out here on burning fat. It could be somebody outside of your network marketing company. This is kind of a technique that I use to build. I actually recruit 20, 30 people a month. This is one of the things I would do. I would not talk about my network marketing company or product directly. I would host training that would make people better. And I want you to write down, make me better. Okay. This is the idea behind building an audience, is because every time your audience sees your name, they need to be saying to themselves, if I go listen to Jerome, he's going to make me better. If I go listen to Andre, he's going to make me better. If I go listen to Shanoa or I listen to Athena, they're going to make me better. So that's the idea. That's really where you're trying to go. So back to my point, I may invite a physician or a nutritionist that I have met or know, and together we would host a call and I would maybe interview that person. Okay. And by me interviewing that person, within the interview, they will be teaching, training, instructing, guiding, coaching my audience. Now, no matter what, write this down. Whether or not my audience buys from me is not the point, not in the beginning. All you're doing is trying to accumulate enough love from them about you that they will come back over and over again. They will come to your trainings, come to your conference calls, come to your live events, download your PDFs, go watch your YouTube videos, like your fan page, share your content, all that kind of stuff. That's what you're trying to do when you go to build your audience. That's your only mission. Okay. Let's see here. That's your only mission. That's audience building, audience development, I should say. So everything that you do from the point that you get that list started is to keep them on that list so that they can fall in love with you. You need them to know you. How do they get to know you? By showing up on a regular basis. Get them to like you. How do you do that? Just be yourself. Be valuable. And how do you get to trust you? By not pitching them every time you got something to say. You can't be a pitch artist. You can't do that. As a matter of fact, if you never pitched in your life again from this point on, you would still make money because you're leading with value. When we say lead with value, what we're talking about is make me better. It's just that simple. I hear people say, well, Larry, what does it mean to lead with value, to give value? Simpler, it's very simple. If you know it, share it. If you know it can make me better, then share it with me, knowing who I am as your audience. So when I do trainings like this, I already know that if you show up, you're part of my audience. You want to learn something to make you better. And when you get off this training, whether or not you decide to purchase anything at all, it doesn't matter. As much as it matters to me that you're an audience member and that you got enough value to come back again and again and again. People say to me, Larry, I don't know if a person is going to buy from me. The reason why they have that attitude is because that's their focus. Their focus is selling something. That shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should be what? Make me better. That's what your focus should be. Make a commitment to make people around you better. Though my network marketing friends, you don't have to keep pitching your product, pitching your opportunity. Start to find ways to make people better by educating them. If you have a weight loss product, if you have an educational product, if you have a technology product, find a way to educate and make people better. If you can do that, they'll be more endeared to you to listen to you when you do segue into whatever your opportunity is. That's audience development. Do you get that? So, point being, when you get your list built, decide on how you're going to now make people better. Now, maybe you already have a list started, but when you send out your email, you notice that 2% of the people, 3%, 5% of the people open your emails. You really should be upwards of 20% on a regular basis. When you get to 20% and above, you really have a strong audience that really respects you, respects your content, knows that you deliver anytime they decide to open your emails or listen to you. If it's lower than that, if it's lower than 20%, that's where I can jump in and help you raise those numbers. So if you want help raising your numbers on developing your audience, just like before, you can send me a text message and tell me, say, give me your name and say, Larry, help me build my audience. Text me to 813-562-6602. Again, give me your name and then type in, Larry, help me build my audience. And that number is 813-562-6602. So that's level 2, is audience development. Level 3 is where you start to make money. You want to write down L3 or level 3 is my goal. It's not the end goal, but it is where you start to make money. And that is developing followers. Okay, so we're at the 3rd level now. We started with level 1, which is a list. Level 2 is audience development. Level 3 is followers. Followers. A follower is more than just an audience, because audience members can come and go. All right, you can have people show up one time and never come back, but those that kind of keep coming back and keep coming back, work their way down into being followers of yours. A follower is somebody who now has indoctrinated themselves in you. They love you, they like you, they share your content all the time. They're sharing with other people what you have going on, and when you do go to make an offer to buy something, they are willing to buy it. Now, let me say this. just so you understand. You can accelerate people through those first 3 levels very quickly. I've actually had people who got on the list, who became a part of my audience, and at the time that I made an offer to them, they knew enough about me, or they felt good enough about my content that they were willing to buy from me or start sharing information, or whatever the case might be. So they fast track themselves to being followers of mine. I count anybody that buys from me a follower, period. Now, they can be great supporters. Supporters can come to your content. Supporters can look at your stuff and all of that. But until they started spending money, they really haven't really bought you. That's really what people are saying when they spend money. It isn't necessarily just about buying your product, but when they pull out their hard-earned money, swipe their credit card, that means they have decided to invest in you personally, and your product just happens to be the legitimate facilitation of a transaction. But they're really buying you. So that's a follower, is when people start to buy from you. Now, but in general, although you can fast track some people, in general, you need time. They need to be in front of you on a regular basis to understand that you're valuable to them. This is especially critical on the internet in any capacity. Have no expectation that the first time somebody comes upon you, even if they say, yes, I'm interested in weight loss, yes, I'm interested in making money, that they're going to necessarily buy from you. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I have a coaching client right now, a gentleman who bought a 4-week coaching program from me. And when he first connected with me, he revealed later that he felt like he wasn't comfortable with me because he thought that all I was going to do was try to sell him. So he took that defensive posture, and it blocked him from receiving from me. But then he saw me out at an event. He saw me in a couple different places. He started to listen to me and started to realize that I was more valuable than he originally thought. And it was at that point that he decided to invest in a 4-week training program with me, of which we're in the middle of right now. But it took him a moment to really step back and just be in the audience, quietly in the audience. I didn't know he was in the audience, but he was there listening to me, watching me, checking me out, making sure I was safe, because apparently he had a bad experience. And that's okay. But I'm authentic enough to just be consistent without having to turn it on and off. I don't turn it on and off. So he was able to recognize that I'm the same no matter where I'm at. And that made him feel safe. And because he felt safe, he felt willing to now do business. And so he became a follower. He became a follower. So that's where money it can be made. Followers will invest some money with you, $20, $50, sometimes $100 or more. It really just depends on your offer, but they will invest. But that's not the deepest level that you can get to. That's where most people stop, though, because they really don't understand the next level, which is level 4. This is a level that you have the tiniest group of people in, but they have the strongest financial commitment to your success. All right. They have the strongest financial commitment to your success. All right. Who we got here? See if people are texting me. All right. We got in this. See here. Okay. Just checking. I got text messages coming in, but they're not from any. Okay. So level 4, we're headed to level 4. So recapping real quick: level 1, list building; level 2, audience development; level 3 is followers; and level 4, disciples. Level 4 are disciples. What's a disciple? Very easy to find a disciple. A disciple, when you go to promote something, they bring 5 people, 10 people. They're on the phone on your behalf, drilling people, blasting their list without you having to pay them to do it. They're the first ones that come to everything that you do. When you go to buy something or sell something, they buy everything you sell. It doesn't matter what it is. As a matter of fact, they're so hooked into you that you could just call them on the phone and say, listen, I'm going to be developing a product soon. In about 90 days, it's going to be released. But I want to give you an opportunity to buy it first, and they will buy it. They wouldn't even have to know the title of it. They wouldn't have to know what the content's about. They're going to buy it. That's a disciple. The disciples also are the ones that want to sell your products. For those of you that are involved in affiliate programs in particular, or you develop your own products, the disciples are the ones that will do that stuff for you because they believe in you that much. They want to go to work for you. Now, as an affiliate, they obviously get paid, but the truth is sometimes a disciple doesn't need to be paid. They're happy to go and promote what you have to anybody that'll listen. But here's my favorite part of disciples. Personally, because I'm in the coaching business, disciples are the ones that tend to buy your high-end coaching programs. So for those of you that have, let's say you want to get into coaching or you're in coaching, and you want to sell $1,000 coaching package, a disciple will buy $1,000 coaching package. You want to sell a $2,000 coaching package, a disciple will buy that. A $5,000 coaching package, a disciple will buy that. A $10,000 package, a disciple will buy that. The largest coaching package I have ever sold was $12,000 to this day. I just did it a couple months ago. But a disciple will buy your high-end stuff. The reason is because you have done an amazing job of just evolving the relationship to the point that they know you're safe. They've always benefited from you from day one. They sort of feel obligated to support you financially, as well as support you verbally and physically in some other ways. But that is where you want to ultimately get to. Again, disciples are the smallest group. But think about it. If you have 15 people that spend $10,000 on a coaching program for you, outside of everything else you got going on, well, what is that? $150,000, if I'm not mistaken. I said 15 people, $10,000. I think that's $150,000, or is it? Yeah, I think that's right. You see where I'm coming from? It's work, and it takes time, but it's worth it for you to keep building your list, because that's something that should never stop. You should also be working on your audience development. That's something that should never stop. There should be static content that your audience gets in the beginning, and then they get regular updates on new value that you come up with along the way. Stick with it long enough to create some followers. They start buying your low-end products. Followers / disciples will get involved in your network marketing program. Boom, they'll just sign up. For my network marketing friends, I've had people sign up with me without talking to me first. I'm not currently in the network marketing program, but when I was building a team, I had people that would email me. They got on a conference call, a training of some sort, and I was doing something. And the next morning I wake up and they signed up, and then they would call me and say, hey, I've been following you for 3 months. I got on your call last night. I was ready to work with you. So I just went ahead and signed up, spent the $500. What do I do next? Now, this one you may not believe, but it's a true story. I had a guy one time sign up with me and say, well, we talked on the phone, and he said, you know, that company that you're involved in, I'm really not that interested in it. I'm really not sure I like the product, but I want to work with you. So I guess I have to sign up in this company. I said, if you want to work with me, that's the only option I offer right now. So he decided to sign up. So as a network marketer, I know that seems very foreign to believe that somebody will be willing to sign up in a company that really don't believe in, but it was never about the company to begin with. If you understand all that I've been saying tonight, it was never about the company. It was always about me, about them liking me, trusting me, feeling as though I could help them get to where they want to get to. Okay. So those are the 4 levels. All right, so let's jump into the 5 steps to building a buying audience. So since we now understand that level 2 is audience development, we need to figure out what are the 5 things we need to do in order to develop this audience. All right, so I want you to write this down. All right, step 1 is what we call the indoctrination phase. Indoctrination phase. What is indoctrination? Basically, you're shaping someone to your way of believing. That's what indoctrination is. You're shaping a person to your way of believing something. You want to give them enough information on a consistent basis to where you start to change the way that they see a particular subject, issue, situation. That doesn't make it a negative thing. It's not brainwashing. Indoctrination is, I'm just going to continuously give you value specific to why you got on my list to begin with. Very simple. Dr. Oz, my wife loves Dr. Oz. I know a lot of people that love Dr. Oz. The few times I've watched Dr. Oz, I could easily be an audience member of his, as in somebody that would sit down in front of the TV and watch his show. I just don't, because I don't really have the time. But his indoctrination process is around a certain way to be healthy. And every time you watch Dr. Oz's show, he goes into indoctrinating you on something related to health. I remember one thing he was talking about, a sugar intake. And he had a giant container of white sugar. And he had these soda bottles lined up, the different types of sodas out there. And he would show you how much sugar was in each one of those bottles of soda. Then he went further into talking about, and he had another diagram, like a mannequin or some kind of a structure, like anatomic structure of what it was doing to your organs when it came to sugar. So all I'm saying is he just focuses on education and helping you to understand your own health and how to be better. He breaks down certain vitamins. He talks about, this versus that, different things that he does, but that's his indoctrination process. So you have to be committed to a regular dose of information to make people better. Remember, I talked about making people better. That's what the indoctrination phase really helps you to establish, is indoctrination. So that being said, what you want to do is have a plan that when someone's on your list, I would suggest that you attempt to talk to that person through the email every single day. Every single day, Larry? Yes, every single day, at least once a day. Now, there's a lot of argument back and forth on the whether or not that's too much. But let me just tell you honestly, when a person really wants something from you or wants what you have, it's never too much. I want you to think about something that you absolutely love, like Ohio State football. Okay, I'm a Ohio State Buckeye. I went to Ohio State. I'm from Ohio. I love the Ohio State Buckeyes, right? Now, there are websites that I can go to that talk Buckeye football. I can plug in my information, hit enter, they'd have my email, and then they would send me information about the Buckeyes. It could be paraphernalia, it could be documentaries, biographies, it could be video shoots, interviews, it could be talking to players, it could be locker room whatever, it could be stats. It doesn't matter. Anytime I see that come across my email, I'm going to open it, because I just love the Buckeyes. There's no way they could ever offend me by sending me something. So if they send me something once a day, I'm opening it because I love the Buckeyes, right? That's what. So, but if they didn't send it to me as much, I wouldn't be as engaged and I wouldn't be as committed to being a part of their audience, because I just wouldn't know them. I wouldn't know them that well. As much as I love the Buckeyes, if they sent me something once a month, they might get caught up in my spam folder or something because I'm not used to seeing it. Or I might just not be interested enough to open it once a month. But I have learned that the more engagement that you have, which is the next thing, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but your indoctrination process has to be tight. Dagan Smith, one time, one of the world's top internet marketers, I mean, this guy's probably generated 1 million leads, million man list. I remember him talking about moving one time because he's one that emails every single day. And he said that he took a few days off of emailing and he calculated the amount of money that he lost. It was about $80,000 that he had lost over like a week's time because he did not email his list, because his list was used to getting his indoctrination. And then, of course, there's offers that are incorporated in that process. So that's what I mean by indoctrination. But remember, the focus of indoctrination is education, information, explanation, problem solving, giving advice, tips, coaching, Q&A, pain relief. That's what indoctrination is. It is by and large not pitching and selling. Okay, now you can make offers. Don't get me wrong. You can make offers, which you're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But the first step is indoctrination. Step number one into developing a buying audience is indoctrination. All right, that's step one. Step number two, let's move into step number two. Step number two is engagement. Engagement. What is engagement? All right, there's a lot of different ways to engage. What we're doing right now is a bit of engagement. Here I am live. I'm not just behind an email text message to you, a text-based email. I'm physically here in front of you. You can ask me questions. You can send me an email and I can respond to it. I can create an engagement opportunity by encouraging you to ask me a question, all right, to respond to some sort of a survey that I might create. And then I'll respond to you and thank you personally and tell you that I looked at it and that I'm interested in helping you. So that's what engagement is. It's connecting to people face to face, virtually speaking, connecting to them email to email without it just being a blast. Yes, there's a blast that'll go out, but if you ask a person to engage you and they do, phenomenal. All right. You want to get into a posture where there's a real sense of a relationship that's being developed. That's engagement. Think about TV shows like those talk shows where they have the audience call in and they get to come live to the show. That's engagement. Think about when they read the letters of the audience members that might have written in, or read the emails, or have them come in on Skype and all that kind of stuff. That's engagement. It's engagement. It's a connecting point beyond just the world of sending out emails. Get on a conference call and train and talk to people, and then unmute the lines and let people talk to you one-on-one. That's engagement. Go to live events. Let people know where you'll be and say, hey, listen, if you come out, I'll give you a VIP ticket to attend. If you have your own event, give your list, or your audience, I should say, an opportunity to come out, shake your hand, You know, you autograph a book, take pictures with you, sit down for a cup of coffee. You might be thinking, well, Larry, if I got 10,000 people on my list, I can't engage everybody. Doesn't matter. As long as you're engaging, you're not going to be able to engage everybody. Just as long as you're engaging, you endear people to you, so that now when they get your emails, they, at least if they witness your engagement, even if they don't participate in it directly, the very witnessing of the engagement says to them, you know what, Larry Beacham's cool. Jerome is a good guy. Andre, you know, that guy's awesome. Athena, yeah, she's real people. She's authentic. She's genuine. And people want that. So even if they don't participate in the engagement, if they could see the engagement, it's the second best thing that you can offer. So now when they start to receive your emails, they remember this person really cares. There's this old saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Have you ever heard that before? That's true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the only way they're going to know how much you care is to engage you. When people send you an email with a question, do you respond? When somebody types something on your fan page, do you respond? If somebody sends you a text message, will you return the text message? Will you do that? That's engagement. Now, the cool thing about engagement is because of where I'm teaching you, a lot of people won't engage. They just get hands off. All I want to deal with people. So that's great for you, because if you are in the same business that that person is in and they engage you and not that person because that person is not engaging, they're going to latch on to you. I can't tell you the number of times I've talked to people who have tried to engage with a marketer they would say I couldn't even reach them. I'll tell you a funny story. Here's another engagement thing. This is the most awesome way to engage somebody, is to pick up the phone and call them. But like, there was a time, I don't do it very much now, but there was a time when I put up a capture page, and a page for people to opt into. I would take their name, email, and phone number. Today I just kind of do the email, but I can still get the phone number. I'll come back to that. But here's my point. I would take time out of my day and I would go through my list and I would pick up the phone and I would say, hey, can I speak to, let's see here. Give me 1 second here. See if there's anything on the fan page people are asking me about. Okay, sorry. All right, so I would have somebody opt into my page, and I'll get the little printout, and I'll call and say, hey, can I speak to Jerome Sparks, please? Who is this? This is Larry Beacham. Larry Beacham? Really? Larry Beacham, for real? I've had many people do that. They blown away that I would pick up the phone and call them. Like, I would have thought you would call me. That comment, man, I can't tell you what that does for people. That you would be willing to call little old them, and that's how they see themselves. They're little old me. You call, out of all the people that I know that talk to you or want to get to you, you decided to call little old me today. I've actually had people like, I just don't believe I'm talking to you. I just, like, the whole conversation kept being woven in with, I can't believe I'm talking to you. Now, I'm a guy that lives in Florida, that has a family. This is what I do for a living. So I understand how to make money and do what I do. But there's something about being behind the camera that people sort of now see you as larger than life. And because of that larger than life frame of reference, when I call them, it like takes them to another level. Okay. Thank you, Jerome. Jerome says, good stuff, Larry. I'm learning a lot. Yeah. So when you start authoring things, author is the first 6 letters of the word authority. So when you author things, you automatically become an authority. When you author a training like I'm doing tonight, you're an authority. When you write a blog post about some value, you're an authority. When you do a YouTube video, you're an authority. When you go do public speaking and train, you're an authority. So people will raise you to a certain place in their mind based upon that authority positioning, and it gives you a new level of credibility. So now when I pick up my cell phone and I call somebody, they're going to go, wow, I can't believe you called me. I'm excited about that. Now, if I had something for sale, let me tell you what that's called. It's called a laydown. It's called a laydown, which means that they're so mystified, you know what I mean, by your call, that if I had something for sale, in most cases, they'd be willing to buy it. Within reason and within certain conditions, of course. But all I'm saying is the fact that they say, you know what, in this world that we live in, nobody engages anymore. Everybody disengages. I was at a restaurant the other day. An entire family was sitting together at a restaurant, totally disengaged. What do I mean by disengaged? Everybody doing this. Mama's doing it, daddy's doing it, kids is doing it. Disengaged. We live in a society where these devices causes us to disengage, and human connection becomes very, very infrequent. So you want to engage people. And because you're engaging people in a disengaging society, a disengaging process, it makes you stand out like a sore thumb, like crazy. Have I hit this engagement thing hard enough? So engagement is the next thing. All right. That's step two. Step two in the process to building a buying audience. Think about it. If you like somebody and they're engaging you and they make an offer, would you buy from them? Understanding now they've been indoctrinating you, they've been educating you, they've been giving you advice, they've been making you better no matter what. See, you guys are already better right now. I think you could agree without me being, I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant. I'm just saying I know that you're already better, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. Whether now that doesn't mean I won't. Of course, I'm a businessman. Of course, I have an offer, but my expectation is that there's enough value already that with or without buying anything from me, you are better. Larry Beecham, you can say honestly, Larry Beecham made me better. That's what matters more than selling. Because if you decide to buy, that's because the time was right, you believe in the content, and you had the money. And you believe that this investment is right for you. All of those factors being said, if you buy under those circumstances, we both are going to be happy. But it's when you start to pitch and convince and try to overcome objections and do different weird things that salespeople do that people start to get that buyer's remorse, start to feel like you're just selling me, you're just after my money. See, that's what you don't want. But if you genuinely do what I'm talking about, you don't want to engage just for the sake of selling. You don't want to indoctrinate just for the sake of selling. Really from the heart, know that if I don't make an offer, I'm still making a person better. They're smarter, stronger, faster, thinner, okay, healthier, or whatever it is, just because I decided that I wanted to give to that person. In my book, Build a Team, Not a Downline, I have a chapter that I talk about sacrificial servant leadership for you network marketers. And the reason I wrote that chapter is because as a leader, one of the things that I heard people saying that caused them to have an injury to their own growth is they're focused on themselves. So they'll say, I want to make $5,000 a month. I want to go and get a 10,000 square foot home. I want to drive a BMW or a Mercedes or whatever. You know, I want to move to a new school district. I want to put my kids in private schools. I want to retire my wife and retire my mom. I want to give. So they were all about themselves. And I said, if you really want to build a team big, everything that you just said has to be about the team. In other words, when you say, I want to make $5,000 or $10,000 a month, stop saying that. Say, I want to go and find somebody that I can help make that happen for. I will sacrifice myself for their benefit. When you say, I want to have a 10,000 square foot house, stop saying that. Say, I want to go find somebody that I can help them get to their next level house. Maybe they're in a 2-bedroom apartment in the hood. And you say, I want to help them get to a 3-bedroom house in a brand new zip code that's in a respectable neighborhood. I'm going to sell out to getting them there. Forget about your bank account balance. Say, I'm going to go help somebody put $1,000 away for a rainy day that they don't have right now. Forget about retiring your wife. Say, I want to go help a man who I know loves his wife retire his wife. Because the reason that's important is because when you lay down your life for somebody like that, there's an incredible amount of reciprocity that comes from that. Reciprocity means what goes around comes around. People find a way to give you something that they wouldn't have otherwise wanted to give you because they know you're for them first. You sacrificed yourself for them first. It's about them. Zig Ziglar says, if you can help enough people get what they want in life, you'll get anything and everything that you want in your own life. Now, I kind of jacked up that quote, but go look it up. You'll get where I'm coming from. But that's what he's trying to say. It's for the sake of the person, not for you, not for your bank account, not for your clothing in your closet, not for the square footage of your own house, not for the number of shoes you can line up in your closet, for none of those reasons, but for the reasons of everybody else who can't get it without you. That's what it's about. Those people will open your emails. Those people will come to your conferences. Those people will show up to your trainings. That's what you're looking for. All right, I hit that kind of hard. All right, so that's engagement. Number 3. All right, where we at on time? Oh, I got to pick up the pace. Wow. Number 3 is ascension. Okay, ascension. Ascension ultimately means it's now time to start positioning opportunities for them to buy from you. An ascension, they ascend to now an opportunity to buy. So one of the things that I do when I have done my job well enough is I will do what I like to call a segue. A segue basically is, let's say it's for my network marketing friends, here's a segue. On the front, I would do a training about something. And on the back, I would segue into my opportunity. But the training on the front was so good that whether or not they bought anything or not during the segue wouldn't matter. But there's this large percentage of people that will now decide, if you could connect the dots, that will decide to ascend to buying from you. You notice that the ascension process is third on the list, is not first on the list. It's third. Okay. So for someone to climb up to the point where they want to actually buy from you requires that you decide to sell out to making them better. Have I said make me better enough times? I hope that really, I hope you roll around in your bed tonight and go, how can I make people better? How can I make people better? How can I make people better? So if you're struggling with that and want to learn more about how to make people better, you can just reach out to me again. You can text me, Larry, help me make people better, to 813-562-6602. We can sit down and talk about some strategies on how I can help you make other people better. Again, that's Larry. Help me make people better. Text that to me with your name to 813-562-6602. Let me see if this thing is going on the fan page here. Okay, so people just comment between themselves about what I'm talking about. If you have not notified me that you're here, it's been a minute since I asked, but I know we're almost done, but I would like to know who else is with me. You can feel free to comment on my fan page, Larry the Champion Builder. Go to Larry the Champion Builder, like my fan page, and just let me know your name and location. Or you can send me a text message with your name to 813-562-6602. Okay. Now, step 3 was ascension. Step 4 is segmentation. All right. Now, what that means is, over time, you're going to want to identify who's willing to buy from you and who's not willing to buy from you right now. Now, there's an important point to that because I'm going to talk about what you can do about it. But within certain email clients like GetResponse and Aweber, they have a segmenting technology on the inside, so it's not a manual process. So basically what that means in very simple terms is, when you go to make an offer and they go to make a purchase, you can set it up to where that person is now removed from the audience of people who have not bought and placed in the audience of people who have bought. That's called segmenting. You definitely want to segment people so that you can appreciate who has now decided to be a follower, ultimately to become a disciple. Okay, because remember, we're developing an audience. So from the audience, when we start to make offers, when they ascend, they're going to buy. Now we need to pluck them out of there over here into this other little bucket. And now that we understand that these people here have decided to purchase from us, they should be treated a little differently. They should be treated better. Okay, they really should. They should be given free offers, free training, discounted products and services, special events, and that kind of stuff, because they've shown you that you've done enough to earn their money. They're not following you. And of course, that's where you start to deep dive into those disciples that we talked about before. Okay, that's segmentation. And number 5 is re-engagement. That's why you segment. So you can re-engage. You can re-engage and start the process all over again for those who may not have purchased. Now, along the way, just so you know, you can't win everybody. Sometimes you'll get people on the list and they'll get off your list. They'll unsubscribe. That's not personal, okay? That's not personal. Sometimes people unsubscribe, but I will tell you this. There are strategies that you can deploy that when a person attempts to unsubscribe, you can try to win them back. Maybe that once a day that I talked about earlier is too much for them. And that's why they want to unsubscribe. Well, you can actually set it up to where when they go to unsubscribe, they get a message that says, hey, listen, before you go, I want to apologize if I did something that may have been offensive to you that made you want to leave. My mission is to help you and make you better. So help me understand what I can do better. Am I sending you too many emails? Is the content not specific to what you want? All right. This is like a win back strategy. Because the truth is, you did the work to get them on the list because you already know if they got on it, there was something they needed that you offered at the time, but they're trying to leave, something went awry. If you wanted to at least make an attempt to try to reconnect with that person. But you can't win everybody. Look, some people are going to just leave, and that's just going to be the way it is. That's just life. So don't pull up your back office like I did back in the day. And I'm like, oh my God, 11 people unsubscribed today. Well, I'm just a horrible person. It's got nothing. It's sometimes it doesn't have anything at all to do with me. Sometimes it does. But in either case, as a professional, I can't take it personal. How many times have you actually stopped buying from somebody, whether it's a coaching program, whether you stop shopping at a certain shoe store or barbershop? We all do it. All right. So it's not like it's always a bad reason. Sometimes you move away and you can't go anymore. Sometimes you felt like, you could get better service somewhere else. Not necessarily the service is bad, but just better. Who knows? Maybe the time is up for whatever it is that you needed. Okay. Sometimes people get involved on your list during a season when what you were offering was relevant to them. But if they get off your list because they're no longer doing that, there's nothing you can do to win that person back. But you do want to be conscious of the fact that you are going to need to win a few people back. But anyway, let's talk number 5 or a little more about re-engagement. What is re-engagement? It is now with the people. Let's say you had a list of people and you have 90 days has gone by, and you have an expectation that with your indoctrination and engagement process, that when you make your ascension offer, they buy it or they don't buy it. Well, when you go to re-engage that person, it's now really time to figure out, okay, I know you've been on my list for a couple of months. What exactly am I doing good? What am I doing not so good? What's missing? What would you like to see me doing more of? See, now again, we're engaging. This time we're re-engaging. So now it becomes really about them, because we're asking specifically, what can I do to make our relationship better? What more do you need from me? Do you need me to send you a specific type of training? Do you need me to connect with you maybe because you have a very unique situation that my emails and my conference calls are just really not specific enough to your need? What exactly is it that you need me to do for you? And that's the re-engagement process. And sometimes people feel overlooked. There's nothing you're doing necessarily wrong, but some people just need that little extra. That's part of the re-engagement process. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of money in the work. You can maximize your list by deciding to do these things to make sure that you create a buying audience. This is about having an audience of people who will buy from you. They may not buy from you for 6 months, but they'll buy from you. They may not buy from you for 9 months, but they'll buy from you. They may not buy from you for a year, but they'll buy from you. They might buy from you a week into your process. Some people even contact you and ask you, do you have something for sale? I know I'm laughing because it happens. I mean, it's happened to me. Larry, what's the latest thing you got for sale? You got anything I can buy? So all of that being said, this is the process you want to work towards when it comes to developing your buying audience. It's not about the list, it's about the audience. So let's do a quick recap. First of all, the 4 levels of buying list mastery. Go to YouTube, you can see the video, type in 4 levels of buying audience mastery, and you'll see me talk about this again. I got a little graph I drew, but the 4 levels is level number 1, list building. Level number 2, audience development. Level number 3 is creating followers, and level number 4 is discipleship. That's the 4 levels. But to get through levels 3 and 4, you got to have the 5 steps. Step number 1 was indoctrination. Step number 2, engagement. Step number 3, ascension. Step number 4, segmentation. And step number 5 is re-engagement. All right, man, it's been about an hour, even though I said 20 minutes. I said 20 minutes. I didn't mean to set y'all up like that. But hopefully, if you've been listening to me the entire time, that it has been engaging enough to stay this long. I know you guys could have been anywhere on this Sunday evening listening to anybody, watching anything. I know football is on. I know you got families. So thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. If you have questions, I want to give you an opportunity to ask me questions. Post your questions in the Facebook group right now. I want to take a moment to answer any specific questions that you might have. Go ahead and type those in my fan page. If you're on the fan page, just type it in. If not, go to Larry the Champion Builder, and you can type in your questions there. and I will do my best to answer some questions for you. And while you're doing that, I want to let you know that I do offer a group coaching program right now for just $25 a week. That's $100 a month. But if you would like to participate in the coaching program, I can give you a first month deal. Just send me a text message or write it on my Facebook wall that you're interested in learning more about the group coaching program. I got several people in it. Andre Simmons is in it. Shanoa's in it. Athena. Several people who are already here are part of my group coaching program. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk to me about the benefits and details of that. The number one thing that I want to accomplish with the group coaching program is accountability, is being able to help you stay accountable to your daily activity goals. And most of you are not hitting your goals because you're not accountable to anybody. And there's also the mindset development side of the world. I can tell you honestly that the reading assignments that I give the people in the group coaching program are transforming them. Quick testimonial. I know I'm putting her on the spot a little bit, but I know my girl Shanoa Alamu, who just started Allen Music Academy, has greatly benefited from the group coaching program. I mean, sure, she could tell you on her own, but just by being involved in the accountability program as well as the reading program, it's helped her to gain the confidence to step up and decide that she really wanted to really take her business to the next level. And since that time, since she's been in the group coaching program, she's picked up 3 brand new students for her brand new music academy, which I'm really proud of. So I'm excited that Shanoa was able to do that, but that's a product of the group coaching program. Another young lady, Vanessa Collins, recently was able to double her prices on her business. She has a book publishing company. Let's see here. See things coming in, just trying to see if people are making comments. Double her prices in her book publishing company from having some conversation with me with coaching. Confidence through the roof, starting to make offers in places that she wouldn't make offers. Those kinds of things are happening. My buddy Andre Simmons is about to launch his very first VIP men's image class. I forget exactly what it's called, but he's an expert when it comes to men's image. Andre's knowledge will help you make more money because he's going to teach you how to have a money-making image. I mean, a walk around money-making image. That's what he specializes in. He's also been a benefit of the group coaching program. All right. So that being said, let me see if there's any questions. All right. Thanks, Jerome. Said he had no questions, but he'd be in contact. Greatly appreciate that. Well, if there's no questions, I don't see any. You can also feel free to send me a text message or answer some questions later on. Come here. I got my 2-year-old that just came in here. Come here, buddy.
Okay.
Come here. You want to say hi?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi. Well, I'm going to show you. You can't see yourself yet. Let me show you. Look, there you go.
Hi.
Wave, say hi.
Hi.
All right. All right, buddy. Is mommy downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, go down there with mommy, okay?
Okay.
All right, buddy. I love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, as I said, you never know when he's going to come and interrupt the party, make a special appearance. All right. So thank you so much for listening to tonight's training. I'm grateful that you were here. If you have any questions or need help, remember you can text me with your name and just tell me that you need help with some aspect of your audience development, and I'll help you with that. Text me to 813-562-6602 or just go to the fan page and make comments there, and we'll go from there. So with that being said, I'm going to end this broadcast as I end every other broadcast. Go forth in victory. This training is a wrap, and we'll see you next time. Take care and God bless.